Does decluttering your home make it show better and more presentable? Stick around as we get into that in the question of the day. What's going on, guys? Matt in the hat, Matt Johnson Real Estate, powered by Keller Williams Diamond Partners. You are tuned in to the Hot List. I come to y'all Monday through Friday, each and every single week around 12 o'clock Central Standard Time. We hang out and talk real estate. We talk properties new to the market with recent price reductions or something unique about the property that I want to share with y'all, want y'all to know. I also answer a question of the day that is submitted by a listener of the podcast. And to find out how you get your question answered on air, just hang out with me till the end. And finally, I recognize and thank a sponsor of the week each and every single week. And if you would like more information on how you could become a sponsor of the week and a supporter of the podcast, just hang out with me and I will explain it in a few minutes. So for everybody listening, thank you guys for tuning in, whether you're catching this live or listening to this on the podcast. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate it. And I really enjoy doing these segments. Not only do I educate myself, but educate you as well. So I just wanted to say thank you again. Property we are talking about today, the address is 1602 Emmer Road. This is in Hartford, so it's just a few miles away. It's a 3-bed, 3-bath ranch-style house. It's got 20,060 square feet of finished space, currently listed for $129,900, courtesy of Eck Real Estate. So you might be thinking, ranch house, 3 and 3 for $130,000. Well, not just that, but it also has 11 acres available. So this is a steal with this. It's got dual covered front porches. It's got a deck out the back. It's got a 3-car garage plus a loft for additional storage. In 2019, it's got new roof, updated PEX lines in the house, large kitchen, large dining room, good size bedrooms, plus there is an office that could be used for an additional bedroom or storage if you wanted to as well. All you got to do is click on the link in the description. While it's available, it will take you right to my website so you can see this property for yourself and look at the pictures. If you are pre-approved and this is in your area, then definitely this is something that you definitely want to take a look at. Reach out to me, let me know, and I would be happy to schedule a showing for you. Before I get to the question of the day, I do want to recognize and thank our sponsor of the week this week. And before I do that, if you are interested in being a sponsor of the week or a supporter of the podcast, all you got to do is just drop me a comment, reach out to me wherever you're listening to this at, and we can have a conversation to see if you are a good fit for being a sponsor of the week and supporting the Hot List. All it entails is Monday through Friday, I talk about you. This gets dispersed on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and Amazon Music. So I cover as many areas as I can. I come up with talking points, you come up with talking points, and I just talk about you, promote you, see if we can get you some business, and that's about it. So the sponsor for this week, I want to thank again, has been First Start Pool and Patio here in Emporia. Again, their address here in town is 2929 West Highway 50, and their phone number 620-208-7665. And this week with them, we've covered a number of their different products as far as pools, spas, types of services. With their pools, they do offer in-ground and above-ground pools. We talked about the 2 types of spas that they offer, which are the hot spring and the free flow. Of course, they carry all the chemicals needed as well as the knowledge to help keep your pool at its best, optimizing as best it can. And we talked about what types of services they offer as well. They carry a number of different accessories, so all you got to do is just call them, swing by the store, and take a look for yourself, and call them for all of your pool or patio needs. And I've included a link in the description, so it'll take you right to their website. You can get all the information, see it for yourself, and get some of your questions answered before you call and speak with one of them. That brings us to the question of the day. That is definitely my favorite part of the show, because this is where I not only get to educate you, the listeners, but educate myself for questions that I don't necessarily know a whole lot about or haven't experienced myself, like we've talked about at least once this week. And if you have a question that you would like answered about real estate in general, wherever you're listening to this at, doesn't matter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, iTunes, if you drop it in the comments, it'll get to me, and I will be happy to not only answer that for you, but use that for content for these videos, because I've been fortunate to do this for over a year now. Each question is asked by a listener or supporter of the podcast. So thank you guys so much for those questions. Make sure you keep those coming. Does decluttering my house improve the house's showings? Well, I figured since yesterday we talked about minimizing and downsizing clutter either with a storage system or storage unit, this would be a good time to get this question answered. There are many things that can help improve a home's marketability. Not quite, there are few that are as quite as effective or inexpensive as decluttering your house, because this really allows you to showcase your home's best features, also helps you get ready to move, as well as rid out anything that you don't want to move with you. Because if you're questioning it, why move it with you? Why not just get rid of it before you move? Save you the trouble. Just a word of caution, if you do this right, this is going to be a huge project, and I would recommend having a plan in place before just jumping into, we'll just call it chaos. And we'll also cover, why you're going to do this. Is there a point? Is there a benefit? Well, the short answer is yes, because your goal is to make your house appear as large and functional as possible within the structural limits, of course, because you're obviously not going to take like something like a 12 by 15 living room and convert it into a massive parlor for entertainment just by renting out. That's not what we're doing here. This is to make your house stand as tall and stand out as best it can, putting that best foot forward for the potential buyers that are coming to look at the property. By removing the clutter that you have in and around your house, the rooms feel more open, and this is really what you want to focus on and get done. You could also make it a family event or friends, depending on how you want to roll the dice with COVID. That's up to you. Just tell them to give you an honest opinion of what they see, what they could see rid out, or what stands out as not attractive or kind of an eyesore. And your agent would do this as well, but this would be an option before calling the agent to come take a look or come take pictures for your listing. So what I've come up with is a 7-step plan to declutter your home and improve its marketing ability. Number 1, begin at the beginning. I know you're laughing. I don't even know what that means. Well, I'm glad you asked. First thing a potential buyer is going to see will be your yard, then your driveway, then your front door. We talked yesterday on the podcast about buyers forming opinions before they even arrive at your home, then having those opinions either met, exceeded, or let down once they open that front door. The areas outside need to be neat, tidy, and ready to show. Otherwise, and I have heard of this happening before, the buyers may not even get out of the car and just drive off. So it doesn't make sense to waste all your time and effort concentrating on the inside and making that look as best you can just to have potential buyers turned off because your yard doesn't look the greatest, your porch isn't that inviting, or you've got, unkept planters or flower gardens that are just overrun and just don't have that curb appeal that many buyers are looking for. Number two, one room at a time. This really makes sense to me if you think about it, because going room by room allows you to completely and totally focus in that area and nowhere else in the house. And once you get that done, then you can move on to the next room. There are also a number of apps that you can use for planning projects. Whether whether it's just making a list or notes, just pick one and kind of make yourself a checklist. Every room in the house, all the closets, the hallways should all have their own entry. So if you start in the living room, for example, the living room is going to be a category. List everything under there. Next will be living room hall closet. That needs to have its own separate entry because you're going to focus on the living room and then that hall closet. By breaking these down into the smallest chunks possible and being more specific, it's only going to help you, because you're going to be able to check off more items. Those are going to be able to make you feel better, like you're gaining some and making some progress, and build more momentum going forward into the next room and through the remainder of the house. Hang on. All right, just need a little water. Number three is furniture. Do you really need all that furniture? We all have that one room or rooms in our house that is just absolutely crammed with furniture. Usually this is for holiday times or during holiday times or for get-togethers and entertaining. But to potential buyers, those rooms can be terrifying, because they're going to see all that furniture in that room and they're going to wonder, how are they going to use that space? Because there's so much in there, they don't have a true idea of what they could do with that space and its capability. All they see is your furniture and usually get out as soon as possible. Leave pieces that are going to be your nicest pieces or newest furniture, and this helps make a better impression for your entire house. Number four is countertops. For the love of God, people, clean off your countertops, please. This is the easiest thing in the world to get in the habit of using your counters for storage. I'll be honest, I'm doing it right now for Christmas, for staging, and for daily activities. It's similar to a kitchen table. It ends up being a catch-all a lot of times, and that's what the issue is. Because buyers come in, see this, and they automatically assume, before they check anywhere else, that there's not enough storage space in the house because you're using your countertop as storage. Nobody wants to buy a house without enough storage, and usually that's one of the main reasons buyers are looking for a new home in the first place. Number five, clean the showers. Some showers are a hassle. You know what? I get it. Totally understand. But there's only so much that you can be done. Sometimes the only time you really do something about them and clean them is when you have guests over or you have somebody staying with you. What I would recommend is, when you're getting ready to list your home, plan for people walking through your house every single day until closing. I know that can seem overwhelming, but by doing that, that's going to remind you and encourage you to clean the shower, whether it's a tile shower, a surround glass, whether you use sponge, squeegee, brush, whatever the case may be, get it clean. I don't have to tell you that black mold or mold in general on shower grout or in the shower surround is definitely a huge turnoff for buyers, because buyers don't know that, maybe you haven't cleaned your shower since the early 2000s. All they see is that mold, which means they're turned off, which equals them leaving. Number 6, your collections, they got to go. So hang on, before you stop it here and shut it off, hear me out. I'm sure your collections are amazing. That's why they are on display. Keep in mind, not all of them need to be displayed, especially if it's something people aren't used to or not mainstream, which is like, I don't know, those paperclip stick figures that people have that you see online. That's not something that people would expect in a house. And that could be what is standing between your home and the potential buyer. So pack them up, get them out of sight, make that room look a little bit larger and a little more inviting. And that brings us to number 7, which is declutter your garage or storage unit, or storage building, sorry. Again, you can't leave these out because potential buyers are going to walk through your garage and any buildings that you have on the property. They're going to want to see how much space, storage, or DIY space for projects, whatever they have in mind, they're going to want to see how large it is. Is a great place to dump stuff we don't want to get rid of, items we don't know where to put, but buyers will want to know if their stuff is going to fit in that space. So by decluttering and reducing what you have in there, they can better picture their items in there and if it will be large enough for what they want to do with it. By cleaning out the garage and the storage buildings, you may need to install shelving or racks. This is going to give some better organization, and it's going to give the idea of organization as well as space. So that's it. That is the seven items that we've talked about to help declutter and improve your home's marketability. Now that you've sorted through all of that you can't live without, what are the next steps? Well, there are a few options, and I'll run through these real quick. You could sell them for cash at some type of resale shop, garage sale, keep them in a storage unit or somewhere that is not your house. Again, not your house. Storage unit somewhere else. You can recycle them depending on what it is, or you can donate them. Some people do a little of each one of these. Personally, my wife and I, we don't do garage sales anymore. It was just more time that we had to commit, and it took more time and effort than what the payout was. And what we came to realize by donating it, there was always someone that could use it or needed it a little more than what we did. And that's just what we do now. If we just donate, and we've been fortunate enough to have enough, and we want to just donate to somebody else, hopefully they can use it as well. Whatever you decide doing, please don't keep those boxes stored in your garage, your storage building, or your basement. This defeats the entire purpose of the decluttering that you just went through. Remember, your goal is to make your house appear larger, not like a tiny little crammed storage unit. So that's it. Those are the top 7. Let me run through those real quick. Number 1, begin at the beginning, starting outside, working your way in. Number 2, one room at a time. Going one room at a time, making an entry in or notes in an app is going to allow you to check off what you've done, build you some momentum, and give you that confidence to keep moving forward. Number 3 was the furniture. Do you really need all of that furniture all the time? Hopefully not. That's for you to decide. Number 4 was countertops. I'm as guilty as anybody else. They become a catch-all and you store them, and nobody wants to buy a house without enough storage, which is what they're going to see if you have a lot of items stored on your countertop. Number 5 was cleaning the showers. If you haven't cleaned it in a while, just plan or tell yourself you're going to have people walking through the house every day until closing, and if they see mold, they're just going to turn tail and run. Number 6, your collections. While they may be awesome and unique to you, a buyer is going to see somebody else's items and have no idea what they're going to do with that or why it's there. So just pack it up and get it out of sight, enlarge that room a little bit more. And then number 7 was decluttering your garage, because potential buyers are going to walk through it as well as any other storage buildings that you have, and they're going to want to see how much space is there and how they can best utilize it. So that is going to do it. That will wrap it up for this week in the hot list. So thanks for tuning in. Again, my name is Matt Johnson with Keller Williams Realty. I do this because your experience matters and should be trusted with a veteran. Y'all have a phenomenal weekend, and make sure you tune back in here on Monday. Take care.